Hello everyone, welcome back to Saddle Up Shooting. I'm Dave Strohmeyer, your host. Today I hope I have a good one for you. I'm working up loads on my brand new rifle, my Uintah Precision UPR-15 chambered in 6mm ARC. Alright, my process is pretty simple. If I've already loaded up previous loads for another rifle, that's where I start to get a baseline. First I start with a factory load, get the numbers, write it down, check for the neighborhood on the target, group size specifically, record that data, and then move on to some rounds that I've already loaded up for another rifle. So the target is set up at 100 yards. Let's go ahead and make this a quick one and get to shooting. Now, some updates on this rifle. From my introducing this rifle in the previous video, I kind of made some mistakes. First of all, this is a 26-inch barrel. I did research what the trigger is. It is a POF, but it is a single stage, not a two-stage trigger. You might have noticed that I recolored the buttstock on here. I didn't much care for that gray. Alright, so first one up is the 105 grain Hornady black factory load. Now, I called Uintah Precision because I had some problems cycling, and they recommended that I get an Amend 2 magazine. Well, that's on order, so I'm just going to use what I have here now as the Duramag and see if that improves over the E-Landers. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get these first shots down the road here. Alright, 89 degrees at 8:30 in the morning. It's going to be a hot one, so that's another thing to factor in to the testing, is the heat index. Alright, eyes on, ears in. That didn't register, it said error. Okay. Alright, it picked it up. That was 2,800 even. Okay, so let's move on and hope that this continues to work well. But off the two that it picked up, obviously that's a bad SD of 2 because it only picked up 2 out of the 5 shots. Okay, so let's move on to the 103 grain ELDX. That's my hunting bullet. That and the 100 grain Nosler partition for deer-sized game. Alright, let me go reset up. Fresh target, 103 grain ELDX. Those 105 grain Hornady black shot pretty well, but it's not a hunting bullet. So let's go see what the hunting bullet does. Alright, target on the right. Okay, the chronograph picked that up at 28:23. $28.27. All right, third shot. $28.37. Okay, I kind of jerked the trigger on that one, folks, but no matter what, that's still a good group, even with jerking the trigger, which is what you're kind of prone to do if you're a hunter. All right, now I'm just going to shoot the 80 grain ELD VTs. These ought to be smoking. I can't wait to see how fast they are. All right, reset up. Okay, now the 80 grain ELD VTs. These shot really well in my other 6mm ARC. That is a semi-automatic. So let's see how they do on the bolt gun. Now I am using CFE 223 powder rather than lever evolution on this. So it should be a little bit slower, but we're going to find out right now. All right, same target. Let's hope for a different point of impact so you can see it. .32-12. Oh, I forgot. I really gotta jack these rounds. Can't slow roll it. That's what they told me at Uintah Precision, is to go ahead and be a little bit more forceful. .32-05. Was that forceful enough? .32-05 again. Wow. All right. That's an average. .32-07. The standard deviation of 4. Extreme spread 7. How about that? Okay, well, let's wrap this up, summarize the target. Okay, well, here's the target. Over here is the 105 grain commercial Hornady black. I only got a reading of 2 shots, but that averaged out to .28-05, and I think you can see that's a real good group, less than a half an inch on 5 shots. Okay, then over here, the first 3 shots were the 103 grain ELDX. That's a hunting load, and I'm real pleased with this. That was an average of 28-29. So an SD of 7, extreme spread of 14, and there's just one off there, and I'll claim that one. Okay, then the 80 grain ELD VT. Hornady, you hit a home run. That ELD VT for both target and varmint. So far, I've shot it in 4 different guns, and they're all that accurate. So way to go. That was an average of .32-07. I think you can see those 3 shots right there. An SD of 4, an extreme spread of 7. Well, folks, so my Uintah Precision worked out pretty good. I've got more loads to work because I have over 15 different loads for my other AR. that is in 6mm-ARC. And I want to compare the two, and that'll be in an upcoming video. But if you enjoyed this video, folks, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Check your subscriptions, please. And I ask you humbly to come back and see the next ones. God bless you all. Goodbye.